Still single and broke? My cousins laughed, taking selfies in Grandma's mansion. Some people just aren't meant for success. The lawyer reading Grandma's will an hour later shut them up quick. Turns out, being the only one who visited her in the nursing home paid off, literally. My cousin Brittany posed on the marble staircase, her phone held high for the perfect angle. God, I'm going to miss this place when they sell it. Should we do a group photo by the pool? For memories? Definitely, her brother Chase agreed, already heading toward the French doors. Last chance to pretend we're rich before the estate sale. I sat quietly in the corner of Grandma Rose's living room, the same spot where I used to sit and read to her every Sunday for the past 4 years. The rest of the family swirled around me like I was furniture, invisible, unimportant, barely worth acknowledging. Oh, Emma's here. My Aunt Patricia noticed me with mock surprise. Still wearing thrift store clothes, I see. Some things never change. It's vintage, I corrected quietly, smoothing down the 1960s dress I'd found last week. Grandma Rose would have loved it. She had one just like it in blue. Vintage is just a fancy word for used, Cousin Madison chimed in, not looking up from her phone. Like saying you're between jobs instead of unemployed. Speaking of which, still working at that. What was it? Library. Bookstore, I said. I manage the rare books section. Books, Chase laughed. Who reads anymore? No wonder you're broke. They'd been like this our whole lives. The golden cousins with their perfect lives, their suburban homes, their social media-worthy families. Chase was in pharmaceutical sales, Brittany sold real estate, Madison was a lifestyle influencer, unemployed but with 20K followers. They measured success in dollars and likes, and by their standards, I was a failure. Where's Marcus? Aunt Patricia asked, fake concern dripping from her voice. Oh wait, I forgot. He left you for someone younger. Men do that when women focus too much on their careers, instead of keeping them happy. We broke up 2 years ago, I said evenly. And I left him. Sure you did, honey. She patted my shoulder condescendingly. Well, at least you have your books. The doorbell rang, saving me from further humiliation. Mr. Peterson, Grandma Rose's lawyer, entered with a briefcase and a somber expression. The vultures, family, immediately swarmed him. Finally, Uncle Robert boomed. Let's get this over with. We've got reservations at the country club. The reading of Rose Millicent Hartley's last will and testament will begin shortly, Mr. Peterson announced formally. If everyone could please gather in the study. Grandma's study had been her sanctuary, walls lined with first editions and rare manuscripts. I'd spent countless hours here with her, cataloging her collection, listening to stories about each book's acquisition. The cousins complained about the musty smell and creepy old books. Before we begin, Mr. Peterson said, adjusting his glasses, Mrs. Hartley requested I read a personal letter. He cleared his throat and began. My dear family, if you're hearing this, then I've finally moved on to my next adventure. I want you to know I've been watching you all these past years, some more closely than others. Brittany whispered to Madison. I posted that tribute on Instagram last month. 10,000 likes. To my son Robert and daughter Patricia, the letter continued. You who visited me twice a year, always on holidays when appearances mattered most. You brought me store-bought cookies and complained about the drive. I noticed. Uncle Robert shifted uncomfortably. To my grandchildren Chase, Brittany, and Madison, who called me only when you needed money. Who rolled your eyes when I tried to share stories. Who posted photos with me on social media, but couldn't be bothered to stay for dinner. I noticed that too. The room had gone very quiet. And to my Emma, who gave up her Saturdays to read to me when my eyes failed. Who learned to make my mother's soup when I craved comfort. Who held my hand through chemo and never once asked what was in it for her. My dear one, I noticed most of all. I felt tears sliding down my cheeks. Grandma Rose had been more than family to me. She'd been my best friend, my confidant, my anchor in a family that never understood me. Mr. Peterson set the letter aside. Now for the distribution of assets. To Robert and Patricia Hartley, I leave the sum of $1,000 each, the exact amount they spent visiting me over the past 5 years, calculated at minimum wage. Consider it a refund for your time. What? Uncle Robert exploded. That's insane. We're her children. Please allow me to continue, Mr. Peterson said firmly. To Chase, Brittany, and Madison Hartley, I leave my collection of self-help books on empathy and kindness. Perhaps reading isn't so useless after all. Madison's phone clattered to the floor. She's joking. This has to be a joke. To my dear friend Marlene at Sunny Acres Nursing Home, I leave $500,000 to be used for improving patient enrichment programs. She knows why. $500,000 to a nurse? Aunt Patricia shrieked. While her own family gets nothing? I'm not finished, Mr. Peterson continued. The remainder of my estate, including this house, all its contents, my investment portfolio, and my rare book collection, I leave to my granddaughter, Emma Catherine Hartley. The silence was deafening. Then chaos erupted. This is fraud, Uncle Robert shouted. She manipulated a sick old woman. We'll contest this, Patricia added. Emma obviously influenced her. Mr. Peterson raised his hand. Mrs. Hartley anticipated this reaction. She underwent 2 separate cognitive evaluations in the past year, both confirming her sound mind. She also had 3 witnesses, including myself, present for every will revision. Any contest would be futile and expensive. How much? Chase demanded. How much is the estate worth? Mr. Peterson glanced at me before answering. The house is valued at $3.2 million. The investment portfolio currently stands at $8.7 million. The rare book collection has been appraised at $2.1 million, though Mrs. Hartley believed Emma would never sell it. $14 million? Brittany's voice cracked. To her? There's one more thing, Mr. Peterson added. Mrs. Hartley specified that the family reunion continue as planned. She wanted everyone to enjoy the house one last time. I stood up slowly, my legs shaky. You're all welcome to stay for dinner. I'll be making Grandma's pot roast. You think we're staying here? In your house? Madison spat. God, you probably planned this whole thing. Visiting her, pretending to care. I visited her because I loved her, I interrupted, my voice stronger than I felt. Because she was alone and scared, and you couldn't be bothered. Because she had stories to tell, and no one to listen. Because she was brilliant and funny and worth so much more than her money. Easy to say now, Chase sneered. When you've won the lottery. You want to know what I won? I pulled out my phone, scrolling through 4 years of photos. I won Sunday mornings learning to knit, because her hands shook too much. I won Wednesday afternoons watching Jeopardy and listening to her beat every contestant. I won the recipe for her mother's soup and the story of how she met Grandpa at a bookstore. My voice broke. I won holding her hand when she was scared, and hearing her tell me she was proud of me when no one else was. I won having someone who saw me as more than the poor cousin in thrift store clothes. That's what I won. The money? That's just paper. $14 million of paper, Patricia said bitterly. Mr. Peterson gathered his documents. Emma, I'll need you to come to my office next week to sign the transfer papers. Everyone else, you have 1 hour to vacate the premises unless Emma permits otherwise. They left, of course. Stormed out in a fury of threats and accusations, promising lawsuits and social media campaigns to expose me. Brittany deleted her memorial post before she even reached her car. Madison unfollowed me on everything, as if I'd notice or care. I walked through Grandma's house, my house now, touching familiar surfaces, remembering. The kitchen where she taught me to bake. The library where we cataloged books together, her eyes lighting up as she told me the story behind each acquisition. The sunroom where we had tea every Sunday, talking about everything and nothing. On her bedside table, I found another letter, this one just for me. My dearest Emma, by now, the wolves have shown their teeth and fled. Let them go. They'll survive, they always do, people like that. But you, my dear one, you'll thrive. The money is lovely, yes, but it's not why I left you everything. I left it to you because you're the only one who understands that the real treasures in that house aren't in the bank statements. They're in the margin notes of the first editions, the recipe cards in the kitchen drawer, the photo albums everyone else called clutter. You're the only one who saw me, Emma. Not the bank account, not the house, but me. Rose. The girl who fell in love in a bookstore, who raised 2 ungrateful children, and somehow got blessed with 1 perfect granddaughter, who wasn't even mine by blood, but by choice. Live well, my dear. Fill that house with laughter and books, and people who deserve you. And when the family comes crawling back, and they will, remember that you owe them exactly what they gave me. Nothing. All my love. Grandma Rose. P.S. Check the attic. I may have understated the value of the book collection. First edition Pride and Prejudice, anyone. I laughed through my tears, clutching the letter. Of course she'd hidden the best books. Of course she'd known exactly how this would play out. Grandma Rose had always been 3 steps ahead of everyone. That night, I ate alone in the big house, but I didn't feel lonely. I felt Grandma in every room, heard her laughter in the walls, smelled her perfume on the throw pillows. The cousins who'd mocked me for being single and broke were right about one thing. I was still single. But broke? Not anymore. And not because of the money. I was rich in memories, wealthy in love received and given, abundant in the knowledge that when it mattered most, I'd chosen right. I'd chosen time over money, presence over presence, love over appearances. The family did come back, of course. Suddenly, I was flooded with friend requests, apologies, and dinner invitations. Chase needed a loan for a sure-thing investment. Brittany wanted to list the house if I ever decided to sell. Madison thought we should collaborate on content about inheriting wealth. I ignored them all. Instead, I turned part of the house into a reading room for local kids, filling it with books and beanbags and the sound of stories being shared. I kept my job at the bookstore because I loved it. I started a foundation in Grandma Rose's name to provide books to nursing homes. And every Sunday, I visit Marlene at Sunny Acres. We drink tea and I tell her stories about the rare books I'm cataloging, about the kids who come to read, about the life Grandma Rose made possible. Sometimes, I swear I can hear Grandma laughing, delighted that her final plot twist worked exactly as planned. The cousins still call me the broke bookworm behind my back. They're half right, I'm still a bookworm. But broke? Only if you measure wealth the way they do. By my measurements, the ones Grandma Rose taught me, I'm the richest person I know. Turns out, being the only one who visited her in the nursing home did pay off. Just not in the way they assumed. It paid off in love, in memories, in the absolute certainty that when someone needed me, I was there. The $14 million? That's just interest on an investment I never knew I was making. And somewhere, Grandma Rose is definitely laughing at the poetry of it all. The forgotten granddaughter inheriting everything while the golden children inherit exactly what they gave. Nothing but hollow gestures and empty words. She always did love a good plot twist.